Actually, it's going to be DB room, so they group them all together here on NFL Pro. But what do you feel like is the most important metric? Would you say it's passer rating when targeted, or what would you guys like to see in terms of the DB room? What do you think? What touchdowns allowed, interceptions? To me, it's passer rating when targeted.
I think passer rating when targeted is up there.
Quarterback percentage, maybe something like that.
Okay. Let's go passer rating when targeted first here, okay? Now, you got to keep in mind the minimal snaps. So you got Robert Rochelle, Amar Brown, and, those two had a 0 passer rating when targeted, although they were they were not targeted at all. So the only reason they made the list there is because they had snaps, all right? Katan Oladapo was only targeted one time. It's worth mentioning, but he had a 39.6 passer rating when targeted, okay? He played a total of 64 snaps. So first on the list initially really is Xavier McKinney at a 59.0, then Evan Williams at a 67.5, right? So safeties typically have a lower passer rating when targeted. Now we're getting into the cornerback room. Carrington Valentine leading the way at 69.0. Guys, he was about 7 points better than Jair Alexander, who was a 77.6. These are the things that gets me excited about Carrington Valentine. He also had 2 interceptions, while Jair had 2 as well, but Carrington gave up 0 touchdowns. 0 touchdowns. And I was trying to see if he had the coverage snaps. It did not. He played a total of 516 snaps. Guys, he played 516 snaps. Jair only played 347. Jair gave up 2 touchdowns, got cooked for 2 tutters, and Carrington Valentine gave up 0, while they both had the same amount of interceptions. So Carrington leading the way. Then, of course, the next cornerback would be Keyshawn Nixon at a 101.2. Not good, right? Then you got Eric Stokes, 102.3. Javon Bullard, 124.5.
Come on, Bull. Come on, buddy.
Who's not on this list because he played for the Raiders is our boy Nate Hobbs, the free agent signing. You look at the PFF grade, 61, right, Jacob? And you go, man, it don't look good. His passer rating when targeted was in the 70s. He had a better passer rating when targeted than Jair Alexander last year. Nate Hobbs did. So your top passer rating when targeted in terms of the cornerback room would be Carrington Valentine 1, Nate Hobbs 2, Keyshawn Nixon 3.
You don't by chance have Hobbs's touchdowns that he gave up by chance, do you?
I'll go pull it real quick. I think it was 0, but it might have been 1. I'll pull it up real quick. I won't put it on the screen, but I'll read it off to you.
Okay.
Keep talking for a second there.
I mean, this to me, Tim, the most unsettling part of this would have to be Bullard and Nixon, just because it seems like that we're putting a lot of stock into them going forward into this next year. But, the Evan Williams thing and the Carrington Valentine, that to me just screams, okay, we got us a few here. Obviously, we know what we have in X. Do you see anybody else kind of making that leap, whether it be a Kalen King, a Micah Robinson, somebody like that, a dark horse, the guy from, was it Greg Jr., I believe, from Jacksonville? Like, is there any of those guys you see?
Micah Robinson and Kalen King would be the first 2 that come to my name. And I think Keyshawn, you mentioned Keyshawn and Bullard. I think, in their own different ways, but there are some similarities to the fact that neither one of them have really kind of found their home yet, I guess, so to speak, in the defense. Keyshawn was, return guy, slot guy. Then we moved him to the boundary, asked him to come into the slot here and there. Same thing with Javon Bullard. He's a safety, but we played him in the slot. We put him back at safety when Evan Williams was banged up. He got roasted back there on the back end. I think, as these 2 guys continue to develop, obviously Keyshawn has a few years ahead of the game here compared to Bull. But I think as they settle into their roles, we'll probably see better production out of those 2 guys, especially now, like we said, with Jair out of the picture and, Carrington Valentine hopefully stepping into that CB1 role, quote unquote, so to speak. I think it'll give Keyshawn a little more solid footing, and he'll know what his assignment is and kind of settle into a role. So hopefully we see better numbers from those 2. But that would be what my thoughts were on Nixon and Bullard, man. It's just, Javon Bullard was kind of between a rock and a hard place last year, because it was like just when that guy was finding his groove in the slot, it was like, hey, go play safety. We need you back there. You've prepped all year, all week to week to play in the slot, and now we're asking you to play the back end. So I think that's kind of what the issue is with those guys. So hopefully that gets ironed out this year as we get through the preseason.
And Jacob, I have that for you. Nate Hobbs gave up 1 touchdown. but his passer rating when targeted was 71.9. So
let's go. All right. That's
Cheesehead
far and away. Yeah. I was just
Cheesehead
going to
Murph.
say, Mr. Murph came up here and said what I was thinking because Ed Madness also said before this, he said, to me, CV is CB1. Cheesehead Murph said, y'all talking about that CV clip? Somebody must have asked him in the comments, and he said, CV said, if you don't believe in him, stay over there when proven wrong. So I absolutely love that, dude.
I tweeted it out from his Instagram, right? I didn't hack his Instagram. I screen recorded his Instagram. Okay?
No big deal. Just chilling on a yacht in the harbor, talking that talk. Gotta love it.
What he said, we can't play it because there's some bad words, but he said, quote, all the folks who said I can't do it, stay on that side. Stay on that side when this poopy take the F off. So I'm excited about CV, man, especially him being a Kentucky boy, because you guys know I was hard on him his rookie year as if he knows who the heck I am, right? But yeah, I want him mocked up too every game. I think he can throw.
You guys think we're gonna lose some of that personality and that swag with Jair not being here? I don't believe it. No. Valentine's gonna pick up right where Ja left off. Mark my words.
And here's the thing too: CV loved Jair. They were real close, right? But let me put this up on the screen. Where are we at? Hour 10. I'm gonna throw this up real quick, and then we'll come back to the NFL Pro stuff. This was a video that CV put out on his Instagram story. I think it was today. And there might be some language here, but you'll notice he tagged, I'll keep it down, but he tagged Nate Hobbs. This is Nate Hobbs right here, right? So CV working out with Nate Hobbs in the offseason here. And by the way, can we just take a second and listen? This is no Diddy here, right? Nate Hobbs.
That's a grown-ass man right there. Look at that guy.
That's a thick corner right there, boys. That's somebody he's going to lay the thunder on those running backs when he's playing out of the nickel. And I'm excited to see him because Keyshawn, the reality is you look at Keyshawn's numbers last year with the passer rating when targeted, Jacob, and I was kind of hard on him just now, but he got cooked in the slot. When they put him outside, played a lot better. He really did. So if he can lock down the outside, him and Carrington Valentine on the outside and put Nate Hobbs in the slot, and here's what's really cool. If for some reason it's going to happen, I shouldn't even say if it happens. It's going to happen. People are going to get hurt during the season. They're going to get banged up. When either Nate Hobbs or Keyshawn has to come off the field, then you put your starting nickel from last year, Javon Bullard, in, who, by the way, played his best football in the slot as opposed to the safety position. So your safety room's good. You got I think, a solid slot corner in Javon Bullard, who I expect to take a big step forward his second year in the league. I don't know, but what do y'all think about Nate Hobbs here, man? That dude looks like he's gonna make some running backs make a business decision or two, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the reason that we brought him in here. I mean, you kind of summed it up really well, that if we have this mix and match kind of hodgepodge of cornerbacks and they're not quite able to sit home for a few games, 4, 5, 6 games, develop their craft, all of a sudden we move them around like it's musical chairs and we say, oh, well, he didn't grade out that well. It's like, well, of course he did, because honestly, you can't have any continuity as a defensive player. And as a defensive person that played football, it's hard to try to get a craft down, to understand a scheme and what your position is, your assignment. And then they say, hey, by the way, we're about to start the game. You're just going to go play on the boundary, or you're going to play at safety. You're going to go play here. And you haven't been studying all week, but we expect you to perform because you're a professional. In theory, yeah, that should be the way that you handle that. But in practice, that's not going to work that way unless you're an absolute freak of all natures. You know, you're like a Charles Woodson or a Rod Woodson, you know, somebody that's an absolute all-pro talent that can actually play up and down with a moment's notice. I think that schematic that you're talking about there, Clayton, with the idea of Nixon playing his best ball outside, Javon being the best at the slot position, if that is that Nate Hobbs doesn't want to, you know, play that position, if he's better suited on the outside, where's CV going to line up? We've got options. Now it's just plugging and playing to find which part of this defense is most optimized, where these guys can have the most flourishing of their careers, and just leave them there. Just leave them there for half the season at least. And I would hope that Jeff Hafley, maybe, like, you know, I would consider his first NFL defensive coordination season as an absolute screaming success. I would hope that he's a smart enough guy that he's not going to rest on his laurels, and he's going to say, all right, How can I make this better? What did I do wrong last year? I guarantee Jeff Hafley, if you ask him this question, it'd be a really interesting answer because he wouldn't give you coach speak. He'd say, oh, yeah, we got to get this guy over here. We got to get this guy over here. We got to learn how to keep them in their positions. I think that he'd be man enough to admit maybe we moved guys around too much and didn't let them reach their full potential. I look for that to change this year.
Yeah, 2 over this says, with Jair admitting we lost games because he was scared to hit, it's nice to know we have a dude who isn't scared to truck. And we showed you the Carrington Valentine run snaps too. Like that dude, I want him to cool off a little bit. Like, hey man, you just stay outside a little bit more. Don't get too crazy. But boy, he ain't afraid to set an edge either. So I think the run defense is going to be just fine. Will the pass defense take a step back? We'll see. Because what teams started to do is once they realize Xavier McKinney's an absolute ball hawk, let's just stop throwing the ball deep. Let's stop going inside of the field. So what did Hafley do? Hafley, to keep him, as he said in his own words, to keep him from falling asleep on the field because he was so bored where they wouldn't even throw his way, he started putting him in the box and putting Evan Williams up at post, right? So I'm excited to see how offenses try to attack this defense this year. And I'm also excited to see what Hafley's got in his bag of tricks because when you go and draft someone like Colin Oliver isn't just a three-point stance, put your hand in the dirt and rush the quarterback, right? To me, he's that hybrid. It's got me thinking, are we going Viper? Are we going Leo? Are we going weak side backer? Or, I'm sorry, boundary backer is essentially what the Leo was at Tennessee. And then you got some bigger Vipers that, to the best of my knowledge, they would play the field side. It was the field side edge, but they wasn't your traditional 5-tech type build where they're 260, 270 pounds. They were usually between 240 and 250. But Colin Oliver, that draft pick kind of got me going. Maybe Hafley wants to dip his toe into that hybrid backer, game a little bit. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think we're going to be surprised by Colin Oliver. Preseason's right around the corner, gang. It's going to be here in a blink. Think of these players that we get the key in. Now, listen, the casual fans, but I just get to the regular season. Preseason doesn't matter. I'm telling you, dude. If you know what to look for in preseason games, watching people like Colin Oliver, seeing what kind of snaps that Matthew Golden can get, right? Savion Williams, are you kidding me? Savion Williams in preseason games is going to be a blast. Marshawn Lloyd, is he healthy? We're going to get a good look at him.
Sorrell.
Yeah, Baron Sorrell rushing the quarterback. All these guys, these young guys, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It really is. So,
Clayton, we have one of our first in a while outsiders. S9er gang H says stopping by.
Speaking of casuals,
just say I'm stopping by to say the Packers still suck. Have a good one.
Hey,
bang bang Niner gang. Womp womp. You guys looked great in the playoffs last year. Oh wait, that's right. You weren't in the playoffs last year.
We appreciate you swinging by though, man. Listen, other fan bases they're welcome in here, man. They are. Yeah. The only thing is, I kind of feel bad because. How bad does your team suck? Like, I don't go to Bears streams. I don't go to 49ers streams. I don't go because we got awesome Packer coverage all over Twitter, all over YouTube. How bad does your fan base suck?
I don't know.
That you have to jump on Packer stream.
They're giving me strong Chicago Bear fan vibes right here. I mean, you got a team that finished 6-11 last year, and he's in our pod talking about
get ready to go.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Get him off the screen. Get him out.
That'd be like if I just attacked the Magic Mike Facebook page every day. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
So we'll just go ahead and hit you with it, man. Niner gang, appreciate you swinging through, buddy. But
sit your butt outside.
We'll see. The window is closed, 49ers fans. It really is, man. It really is. Think about.
Coach, sorry, you triggered me, man. Sorry. I don't
want to turn this into a 49ers podcast or anything, but they got their quarterback, in my opinion. They got him, right? What do they look like? They went and drafted, I think they drafted a left tackle or a right tackle in the first round, so they're trying to sure up the edge, right? They got Bosa when he's healthy on the edge, but how much gas does he got left in the tank, seeing that he's starting to get banged up quite often? Fred Warner was battling injuries last year as well. He's no younger. So they're 2 or 3 injuries away from that franchise becoming the Cleveland Browns. That's how close they are. They're this freaking close. But again, Shanahan's a great mind, and I think Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. So we'll see though. But let's see here. Big Pac-Man over on X. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, love the pod, guys. Keep up the good work. Totally stoked for this season. Hey, thank you for swinging through, man. Appreciate you.
Love it.
Sorry. Respect Owner just says, yes, you probably need hobo stabbing insurance in San Francisco. I suggest
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
Hobo Stab Insurance.
brought to you by State Farm.
Sponsor the show. I'm 42 years old. Now that's the first time I've heard that. Hobo Stab Insurance. I'm gonna write that down in my little book here. Let me write that down. I'll use that tomorrow at the gas station down here in Tennessee. So, all right, boys. Anything else y'all want to hit on? Anything at all before we wrap this big bear up? You want me to go ahead and drop these stats down? Is there anything else y'all want to see here? Or are we good?
Man, I guess if you had to look at this group, this is still taking into account some of the last guys that we had. Is there anybody on that list, whether it be a Ballantyne, Stokes, or a Robert Rochelle? I mentioned, I believe he got signed by Dallas. Is there anybody that you wish got another shot over than, the young and up and comers, the Micah Robinsons, the Greg Juniors, the Kalen Kings? Is there anybody else you thought, hey, let's give him another year?
For me, it was always Corey Ballantyne. But
Right.
that 145.1 shut me the hell up. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? I'm done to fill in Ballantyne.
The age factor was working against Ballantyne too. I think he was a little bit on the older side, but I would say that would be the only.
Ballantyne looked a lot better in Joe Barry's defense too.
Oh yeah. And I think, like, to Jacob's point, like, that would be the only name I could think of. Like, we tried, we gave Eric Stokes every opportunity. It was time to move on, right? I don't think we moved on. Same thing with Rob Rochelle. Great special teamer, great teammate, good locker room guy, but production just wasn't there. It was time to move on. So I don't see anybody here that's gone that I wish wasn't, I guess, for lack of a better term.
I think the team got better, man. There's no two way. I can't look at one aspect of our team. Like, there's many fans that look at the cornerback room and go, we got worse without Jair. You picked up Nate Hobbs, right? You dropped Jair. We just showed you the numbers, right? Other than PFF, Nate Hobbs gave up one less touchdown than Jair. He played more snaps, and he had a better passer rating when targeted, and he's better against the run. Like, I'm not saying that Nate Hobbs at his best is better than Jair Alexander at his best, because when Jair was at his best, which was several years ago now, dominant. That being said, for $6 million, I wanted Jair back. I wanted Jair back, and you signed Nate Hobbs. Now we're cooking with Crisco. You know what I mean? But that's the same mindset of we want Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs, and of course we don't get that. So, all right, that's it, boys.
What's $1 million or two between friends, right, Clayton?
Exactly.
It's no big
Jacob,
deal.
Let me hold a Benny, Jacob. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So,
My honor.
respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Hobo Stab Insurance brought to you by State Farm is what Respect Orange.
Clint says, like a good neighbor, he'll stab you.
Oh my gosh. All right, that's it. We're out of here. See, this is how the channel gets demonetized, right? We let the chat take over. So Clint the Armchair Quarterback says, dodge the poop on the sidewalk. It is funny though, when they had the Super Bowl in LA, Pat McAfee said, boy, they rolled into town there a week early, and it was like, they're doing a Super Bowl here. Like, there's like, it was just a mess. There was literally entire encampments and stuff on the side or on the sidewalks. And he literally said they watched somebody poop on the sidewalk. It's like, and then he said, boy, it was like somebody flipped the switch 3 days later. All those people are gone. Everything's cleaned up. And we're ready to roll. It's like, why don't we do that all the time? What are we doing? What's wrong with helping those people get on their feet, right?
Yep.
Get on their feet and clean the damn city up. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. That's just me. So anyway, that's it, guys. We're out of here. We appreciate y'all. Again, we're doing the Mac giveaway this weekend. I'm going to go ahead and tally the list probably in the next day or two and get that together. So anybody who did use the link, givebutter.com/KRPSJ5, donating to a great cause over there at My Autism Connection. We're going to be putting everybody's name on the wheel, spinning it, and give away that autographed Dorsey Levens jersey. So really, really, and here's the thing. I'm going to show that video too, Mac. I see Mary in the chat. We're going to show that when we do the giveaway as well, the one that you emailed over. So appreciate everybody. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to go downstairs and save my marriage. Got to take the trash out. You know how it goes, man. It's just the way it is. It ain't Monday, Tim, but got to build up them brownie points now, boys. Yeah. The season's right around.
You know what you can, man.
That's it. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, unless something changes. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Clint, thank you for gifting those 10 memberships, buddy. You are awesome. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. And go Pack, go.
Here we go.
Nice.
Bye, guys.